Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the second session of the second day of the first test between South Africa and Sri Lanka from Centurion in Pretoria. Welcome with me, AB and Ravi Nair. Looking forward to this session to see if Algar and Markram can survive until tea. And we're getting ready for the first ball that's going to be bowled right now to Dean Algar. Right arm over the wicket. Dean gets one on his pads. Loud appeal for LBW. Holstock says no, not out. Let's see if they're going to review this. There's some inquisitive looks among the players. Let's see what they do.
It was missing off.
They've decided to review, yes, with the right arm over. I'm not sure who's bowling at the moment. If you guys can help me out with is it Chanaka? So he's got the LBW appeal. I agree with you, Ravi. It seems to have gone across him. Maybe it's straightened enough to get the dismissal, but we'll soon see here as we check ball tracking here. I think that might have also struck him outside the line. Definitely not comfortable there in front of the stumps is Algar. And he's jumping all over the place, and the ball hits him on his front pad, just below the knee roll with his front foot in the air. We can see his leg stump showing as the left-hander faces this first ball after lunch. So let's see Hawkeye now, because there's definitely no bat involved. That might be clipping. So it's pitched in line, hit him outside the line. Okay, and missing the wicket. So you were right there, Ravi. Well spotted. The ball didn't straighten enough there, but Sri Lanka have lost a review. We'll see how many. They've got 2 reviews remaining now. South Africa have 3. So, whew. Algar, they survived.
I mean, that's a really bad. That's a very bad decision to review there by Sri Lanka. Algar was jumping all over the place, and you can see even when he lands, his right foot's is well outside the line. But anyway,
this one defended outside off stump, and there's no run. 45 without loss.
Okay, may I make a prediction?
Yeah, sure.
Elgar and Markram are actually, as I said earlier in the first session, probably the best opening partnership in the world today. They don't have to do anything special because the Sri Lankan bowlers are 10 kph slower than the South Africans.
Yep, Chanaka in again to Algar, drives this to mid-off. And let's see if the ball is going to beat the fielder to the boundary. Yes, it does. So that's a 4 for Algar off the third delivery of the first over after lunch.
That wasn't well timed, but it was a nice stroke, wasn't it? He hit it into the ground, but he hit it long enough for it to beat the fielders. My point is Elgar and Markram just have to wait for the bad ball. Maybe it'll take South Africa till tomorrow evening to get it done, but they can overhaul this Sri Lankan score.
It looks good so far. Algar outside off stump chops this into extra cover, no run. Yeah,
I think patience here is needed.
Yeah, definitely. And with Rajita injured, we'll see if he comes back, when he comes back, and maybe that will help Sri Lanka a bit. But the speed of Shanaka and Fernando, not that great. So if you're used to facing Norkia and Supamla and Ngidi in the nets, this should be okay. Around the wicket now, Shanaka, dangerous looking ball there, tries the Yorker on off stump, but Algar manages to keep it out. And as one of our Twitter folk mentioned there, he's making it look a little bit more difficult than it should look. But he manages to defend his stumps. So no run there.
Elgar likes to make things look difficult, but that's possibly why we call him Nuggety.
There we go. First shot. If you're playing the Algar drinking game, take a shot there for Ravi Nair mentioning the N-word.
But he's not the most beautiful of batsmen. He never has been. But he is a tried and tested, as it were, opening batsman. That's the point. Yes. He can do this. And, yes, against this bowling attack, which is frankly not really up to much, he should be able to go on.
Absolutely. In terms of speed, they're definitely not where our guys are. Let's see if they can find the consistent line and length that works on this pitch, like Sipamla and Mulder managed to do yesterday afternoon and this morning. So 49 without loss, and we are in the, let's see how many overs, not showing the overs at the moment. South Africa trail by 347 runs. In their first innings here, Sri Lanka scored 396 for 9 and effectively all out because of Da Silva's injury. And as I mentioned as well, Rajita for them also injured.
Sri Lanka never dropped below 4 runs and over. I'm going to suggest that South Africa should actually look at staying below 4 runs and over and just get the bloody runs. Forget about
Lahiru Kumara, right arm over, and also over the wicket keeper's head. Same problem that Nortje had, good length ball, or just short of a length that flies over the keeper's head for 4. 53 up for South Africa, 50 up, and without the loss of a wicket. So we'll take that. Thank you very much. Let's see, where did this pitch? Yeah, just short of a good length. Markram lifts up his hands above his head to let the ball go through his armpit out to the keeper, and the keeper was unable to catch that ball over his head.
In fact, the keeper was questioning what the hell happened. It looked like he was the umpire, but frankly, the umpire had nothing to do with it. All the umpire had to do was signal dies. Markram's
Kumara again on Markram's pads, and he flicks this expertly past mid-on to the boundary for another 4. So it seems that this wicket is difficult to bowl on, guys. 57 now without loss, because the Sri Lankans are making the same mistakes as the South African bowlers. Now he's drifting onto the middle stump of Markram there after that unintended bouncer, I would say, or the unexpected bounce that he got there.
Yeah. There are cracks.
There is something, there for the bowlers. There is a bit of uneven bounce, a little bit of uncertain
in a game.
Seam.
Yeah, that one was wide outside off stump and didn't bounce at all. Markram just drops his hands and sways a little bit out of the way, but he didn't need to because it was too wide outside off stump. And they're just looking at it.
What I'm liking so far from this Proteas opening pair is they've played everything on merit, and this is something we haven't seen in a long time from Proteas batsmen. Is that they seem to be controlled, and I don't know if they've been working on that or what the message is, but this is exactly what you need from an opening pair. You need that 50-plus partnership. It settles down the dressing room.
Kumara on off stump, work to the onside, no run. And they just showed us there that Kumara's delivery that took off like that over the wicketkeeper's head, in fact, did hit a crack. So well spotted there, Mr. Nair. Well, there's only one Ravi now, so I can call you Ravi. 57 without loss.
I think that Markram and Elgar are the ideal guys right now for this scenario, because apart from, Faf and Quinton de Kock, South Africa's batting seems inexperienced.
Kumara to Markram. He jumps into the air, plays a back foot drive through extra cover for 4. Good shot there by Markram.
Oh, that was a lovely shot.
Yeah, 61 without loss. Yeah, just short of a length, and he made it into a good length delivery by jumping up and getting on top of the bounce there and playing it smoothly out through the covers. Very nice shot, Markram.
It was kind of like Rafa Nadal jumping to hit a forehand, wasn't it? He doesn't need to be on the ground to make it, as long as he gets on top of the ball.
Yeah, Kumara tries the Yorker on off stump. Markram keeps it out. That's the end of the over, 61 without loss. And second session here on day 2, the second over is finished. I apologize because I don't have the scorecard here in front of me. So I'm going to rely on the one that's on here. But I can't see how many overs have been bowled.
So this will be the end of the 13th over now.
Okay, so the 14th over to come. Markram on 35 or 44 and Dean Elgar on 19 or 36. Kumara.
Interestingly, the South Africans are scoring at over 4 runs and over. But they don't have the frantic look of the Sri Lankans. The Sri Lankans batted with edges, whereas the South Africans are just batting well. I don't want to...
Shanaka to Elgar, outside off stump, defended onto the onside, and there's no run.
The only problem that Markram and Elgar will have is the weight of runs they have to chase, as it were. But otherwise, they're not going to. I mean, Shanaka bowling at 69 mph at 130, 128 K. That's not something that should scare him.
No, and as long as he picks the line, and we haven't seen prodigious movement through the air. So picking the ball, the line of the ball out of the hand is, once you've done that, you're good to go. The variable bounce might play a role, but if you keep your bat straight, when the ball is on your stumps, you should be okay once again. So Shanaka comes in again over the wicket to the left-handed Elgar, and Elgar plays this off his thigh down to fine leg, where it's fielded, and they take a single. Field switching around for the right-handed Markram, 62 without loss.
This is a pitch that was made for Vernon Philander.
100% playing. Although, to be fair to pitches or to Vernon Philander, I don't think there's a pitch that isn't made for Vernon Philander. That man could bowl on glass.
Yep, it's that top of off line, third off stump and fourth stump line, nagging away at the batsman's mind, trying to get the batsman to take him on. Shanaka in again to Markram, hits him on the pads, but that was too high, I think. Might have been an edge as well, inside edge maybe, and half-hearted appeal. Not out, says the umpire. And
it was definitely too high. Definitely too high. Possibly missing leg stump as well. I don't know. But I'm glad they didn't review it. They've got few enough left already.
They've got 2 reviews left, but this hits him on the thigh pad. And he's not the shortest guy. Shanaka in again to Markram on leg stump. Markram flicks this out to deep mid-wicket, and it will be another 4.
Wow.
Yes, so we thought that the Sri Lankans might get the cue from the South African bowlers, but they're not doing the line and length consistently like we were lamenting the South Africans didn't do. So
the South Africans bowled outside the off stump. At least the Sri Lankans are bowling on the stumps, but they're getting it frequently too straight.
Yeah, it's too much down middle leg.
Yeah, Shanaka in again, outside off, and through to the keeper for no run, 66 without loss. Markram has moved on to 39 with that boundary as we wait for our scorecard to update. So we're going to keep reading out the score for the benefit of the listeners who don't have the visuals here. You can watch us on Facebook, on Telescope, I think, on Twitter, or on 1WSR.com. And we're going out on TuneIn as well. You can tweet us at Guerilla SA, GUERILLASA, and you can sponsor us. You can advertise your company, your brand on this platform, and that will go out along with our broadcast to...
An interesting fact here. An interesting fact is that there's 67% of the runs scored by the Proteas today has come off boundaries, just showing how ruthless they've been in punishing Sri Lanka's bad bowling.
Kumara to Algar, he plays this to extra cover where it's fielded, and they go for a single. This is looking really good so far. When was the last time we had a 50-plus partnership opening stand for South Africa in South Africa? Because we know
that is a Chris TB question. And Chris TB,
Chris,
if you're listening,
please get on your...
Speaking of our listeners, Ravi Reddy has been tweeting in. He first said, watching this partnership is like the big show at a McDonald's drive-thru. Then he says, we need to talk about, not that, AB, that's for you, Gammon Bry again. And he also mentions that Dean Elgar needs 92 runs to get to 4,000 test runs.
Kumara over the wicket, through to the keeper, no run.
Which Gammon Bry is, of course, the most important point that he has made.
I mean, fair enough. That's why we're here.
Why did you decide to braai the gammon, AB?
Because my folks wanted to braai on Christmas, but they don't eat pork.
Okay.
But I've never had gammon. I've never had gammon before in my life. So I was just like, I'm going to braai it for myself for Boxing Day and for this test match. So I was like, okay, let me go for it.
Fantastic. We seem to have lost the scorecard altogether.
Kumara, over the wicket, past the off stump, no run.
It's fine. Otto and Ravi are prettier than the scorecard, but right now it's 67 for North after 14, 22 overs.
Ravi Reddy has also tweeted the ICC Awards Men's Test Team of the Decade, and he doesn't like it because
which is an absolute fallacy. Who's in that squad?
However, but it's got Alistair Kirk, David Warner, Kane Williamson, Virat Kohli and Steve Smith, and Kumar Sangakkara. How are you going to fit Hashim Amla in there?
Kumara over the wicket past Markram, who leaves it alone again. Just a repeat of the previous few deliveries, no run. 67 without loss.
The question is, how will you fit Hashim Amla in against those names? He doesn't open the battering. And with the middle order of Williamson, Kohli and Smith, and Sangakkara as the wicket keeper, where does Hashim Amla go? I admit that he deserves to be one of the considered one of the greatest test players, particularly of this decade. But who does he replace?
Yeah, good question, because this one through to the wicketkeeper once again left alone by Kumara, because he retired when, in 2014, 15, around there. So Smith, Kohli, Williamson, those guys are still playing. So yes, it would be difficult to say Smith sit out and we're not going to pick Kohli, we're going to pick Amla instead when he's still piling on the runs. So
I take Williamson out for Amla.
Okay, for Amla.
I think Amla's been more devastating in test matches and more important.
Okay, Kumara over the wicket short, and this time the keeper manages to catch it right at the apex of his jump. As he timed that pretty well to stop that from going for 4. 67 still without loss. Just one run off that over.
Again, unexpected bounce. That was again unexpected bounce, wasn't it? He wanted to bowl short, I think but it not was that high.
Yeah, and it was also on the leg stump line. That bouncer wasn't on the outside off line where we saw that steepled bounce. And Markram ducked underneath it, so I think he could see that that ball was short enough to get underneath it. But that also might not be such a good idea with the variable bounce, because if the ball stays low, you're going to wear it or get out LBW like we saw with Amla a couple of seasons ago. Algar now facing Shanaka and no run to mid-on.
Chris TB has come through with the goods as always, and he's tweeted us all our recent opening stands. And apart from Milan and Elgar scoring a 71-run stand in 2020, January. This is the best stand that South Africa have had.
Shanaka on the middle stump, defended by Algar back to the bowler, no run. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, before that, the last opening stand 50 plus was Algar Markram in Cape Town 2019, January 2019. And then there's been a handful, but the last 100 partnership opening stand was again Algar Markram, 243 partnership versus Bangladesh. So it really shouldn't count, in October 2017. Also against Bangladesh, September 2017. And
next ball from Shanaka outside off, defended, no run.
I don't like your discounting Bangladesh. They're a better team than that.
No, they are. But when you're playing against Bangladesh and Bloemfontein,
I'll discount those stands purely because they were in 2017, and that's more than 3 years ago. And you can't use past form from then as a guide to current form. Look at the 2019 and 2020 stands, and this is one of the best.
Algar on the leg stump from Shanaka, and he flicks this to the square leg boundary for 4. So once again, Algar is punishing the balls on his pads properly. And so, like you said, Ravi, the South Africans are scoring runs off the middle of the bat. I saw one fly past the slip cordon from Markram in the session before lunch, but other than that, if the ball's outside the off stump, they're leaving well, and the ball onto the stumps, if it's too straight, it goes to the boundary. If they're going to bowl straight like this, Ravi, they should maybe have somebody out there on that square leg boundary to try and squeeze these boundaries. If they're not going to make the same... Oh, nice shot there across the line by Algar, fetches it outside off stump and goes to a deep mid-wicket where they do have a fielder, and they take a single. 72 now without loss is the score. South Africa trail by 324, Algar onto 26, and Markram will face now on 39 or 53 balls. And thanks to Mpo, who's hard at work here in the background to get our scorecard working back. It's back now with us. So thanks for that, Mpo. He's been helped greatly, he said, by our mothership, the Guerilla UK people. Another no ball there called by the third umpire, foot on the line from Shanaka, and he's going to bowl that ball again over the wicket to Markram, defends to the offside, no run. So thanks to the Bear, the legendary Bear from Guerilla Cricket UK. If you're listening, Bear, thank you. And we do appreciate their support. And if you are in the mood for some Big Bash, I think they are covering that at the moment. And you can also support them on Twitter and all the other social network channels.
Yeah.
A very interesting tweet that I just... interesting tweet that I just found on the Twitter sphere under the SA versus Sri Lanka hashtag is Adrian Holbrook and Maria Rasmus have been great so far. So happy for them officiating at the highest level on home soil, and I quite agree with this.
Shanaka beating the outside edge there of Aiden Markram. That was a really good ball by Shanaka, but he didn't get the edge, and that's the end of his over, 73 without loss.
We often just, we're very critical on umpires when they get it wrong, and we feel like we don't praise them enough when they get it right. But I think so far the umpiring and officiating from all umpires, including the third umpire for the no balls, has been excellent. So well done to them.
Yeah, no LBW overturned yet, and a couple of reviews lost. So indeed, good work by the umpires.
Yeah, no review overturned. That's given current standards, thanks to DRS, really. The problem is umpires cannot afford to be wrong, because even in the Big Bash League, where there is no DRS, the problem is the television still shows what would have happened if it had been reviewed. So all umpiring errors are are out there to be seen. Sorry, I interrupted that ball.
Yes, no, I was also interrupted by a family member coming to say hi. So if you don't mind, tell us what happened there.
Shanaka Kumara bowled just outside off stump, nearly Yorker length, and it was defended comfortably, in a sense, by Elgar.
And this one
the next
off his
ball,
hips.
Yes, too easy. Sri Lanka are bowling on the stumps much more than South Africa. I'll grant you that, and that's a good tactic, I think. But they're not consistently bowling the same line. They're not hitting top of off. They're sometimes going down leg, sometimes going down off. So Markram and Elgar are able to take advantage of the bad balls. And as you said, Otto, most of their run scoring is coming from fours.
Yep. And that's
they're not imposing themselves onto these South African batsmen.
Around the wicket to Elgar, blocked to mid-on, and there's no run. Yes, carry on, AB.
Yeah, it's they're not putting the batsman under pressure. It kind of feels like the Sri Lankan bowling attack doesn't really have a plan besides targeting middle stump. And if you get it wrong from there, and if you're bowling on the wrong side of the wicket, you're not going to bring LBWs into account. So at least if you're going to target middle stump, go around the wicket or over the wicket, depending on the batsman, and try and target for those LBWs. But right now, it seems very haphazard.
Kumara around the wicket to Elgar. This one spits up off the wicket and misses everything except the wicket keeper's gloves, and there is no run. So that was 90 miles an hour by Lahiru Kumara.
That was a very quick ball. Kumara is clearly the quickest of the Sri Lankans. But here's the thing. It's as though Sri Lanka are playing for luck. They're just hoping that if they aim there or thereabouts, one of the balls will get these guys. Rather than bowling to a plan.
Yeah, I think you're right. They want to see if they can find those cracks. Kumara in again around the wicket to Elgar, who defends this from in front of his chest to square leg, and they take a single, 78 without loss.
78 without loss. That's not ridiculous, of course, because this South African partnership is a bloody good one. Whose phone is that? Come on, fess up.
No, that's the ice cream man. That's not me.
we forgive you for going and getting ice cream.
I used to tell my kids the bell ringing means that he's out of ice cream.
You horror, you evil man.
Kumara now over the wicket to Markram, who flicks this off his hip and down to fine leg for another 4. And that one 143 kph, 89 miles an hour. So Kumara is getting some decent speed here, but Markram manages to get some bat on that, just above his hip, in between his hip and his rib cage there, flicks it down to fine leg. So yeah, they're also a bit all over the place. They need to keep that ball on the same line, on the same length, and get some consistency going here. This is a test match, guys. I mean, come on.
And Aiden Markram into the 40s now. Solid start from him. He's going at about 77. He's 77, so that's great.
He's done a good job so far. Let's see what happens from here. So we're looking at the wickets in the sessions here. 3 wickets in the first and the last innings, respectively, on day 1. 3 wickets in the first innings from South Africa, and no wickets yet here. South Africa clicking along at over a runner ball here in the second session. But I would say that's because of the Sri Lankan bowlers just giving them the opportunities to score, which they are taking. So that's good from South Africa's point of view. And Sri Lanka, the same criticism we had yesterday. They need to focus and get consistency going to bore the batsman into making mistakes. As we see, Wanindu Hasaranga is going to take his first over.
Leg spin.
Leg spin.
I think this is the right move. Pace is clearly not working. We all know South Africans are not the best at facing spin, regardless of where it's played. Everyone's a lot more closer to you, so there is that element of physically imposing, the fielders on any batsman. So I think this is a good move from Sri Lanka.
82 without
loss. Two things against it. I'll say two things against it. One, he has hair quite like the Anmol does, which just goes against the grain for me. And two, this is not a spin-taking pitch. For some reason, it doesn't take seam or spin.
First one defended to the onside, second one played to mid-off for a single by Algar, and it's 83 without loss. So the delivery is coming thick and fast now from Hasaranga with his leg spin. We'll see, because the seam is still quite new, so he might get some movement off the pitch with the scrambled seam as he would spin the ball, or he can rotate that seam and get some grip. That way, Markram faces Hasaranga, plays this off leg stump down to mid-on, no run.
I hope so, because Sri Lanka's seamers clearly can't do it. So their spin is going to have to do the job. But this pitch is not so far.
Hasaranga to Markram, he plays a cut shot and just evades first slip there, past first slip to the right of first slip, and that goes down to third man for 4, 87 without loss. I would say from a South African point of view, that was a good shot by Aiden, but it could have easily gone a little bit finer to first slip there. Hasaranga has got a silly or a short square leg in under the helmet there. That was an outside edge. Markram was trying to play that into the covers off the back foot, and just evades the slip. This one again defended by Markram, got forward to the pitch and smothered it into the wicket. No run, 87 without loss. And Markram
you can always tell when the batsman didn't expect the edge, because his head turns as he quickly tries to look back.
He did not expect that edge at all.
This time he plays it into extra cover for no run, and that's the end of Hasaranga's over. He conceded 6 there, so that's good for South Africa. They trail now by only 309. Definitely that was not a planned shot by Markram.
No. AB,
when you slash hard. Yeah, sure.
Can I ask a favor of you? And ask you to do the tweets, because my laptop has run out of steam. Can you get the Twitter feed?
Yeah, let me just pull it up quickly, and let's see what's going on. So nothing since. Yeah, probably nothing since our Chris TB tweeted us about the partnerships, but there is a tweet from a friend of mine who I follow, Morgan Bolton, on the South Africa versus Sri Lanka feed. I tell you, when Markram gets on that one knee and strokes it through the covers, it's nearly orgasmic to watch.
Kumara around the wicket to Algar, who defends, no run. Yes, that's why we love Markram, and it's good to see that he's showing some glimpses of his talent. And once again with Sipamla, just like with Sipamla, we know what these guys can do. So it's been frustrating these past few series to see them not live up to their potential. And Sipamla certainly lifted his game in the last session yesterday and this morning, as Kumara comes in again around the wicket to the left-handed Algar, on off stump, played out to the onside to mid-wicket, where it will be fielded, and they take a single. 88 without loss.
I feel that these South Africans, these two, could easily make a 200-run stand here. I know
they really could.
Again, it sounds like jinxing, but right now the Sri Lankan bowling looks toothless. I'm sorry to have to say it, but it does. They're not.
Well, of course, we're on that unlucky number of 87 for North, so let's hope nothing jinxes them.
No, 88. 88.
Oh, 88. There we go. Okay,
yes, we're already on 100 minus 12, so that's taken care of. Markram facing Kumara, who comes over the wicket to the right-hander. 2 slips in, on off stump, defended, down the pitch, no run.
So here's a fun fact for you both. On this day in 2017, South Africa beat Zimbabwe in the first ever 4-day day-night test.
Oh,
yes,
right.
Yeah. And it actually, if you can remember that correctly, it took 2 days.
So they scheduled a 4-day day-night, and it lasted 2 days. Yeah. Okay. Kumara in again over the wicket, full and outside off, defended to covers by Markram, and he doesn't take the single. Still 88 without loss. Yeah, that was Rabada, if I remember, and Gidi making hay there among the Zimbabwean batsmen, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So interesting point to notice that we're just having a look at Aidan Markram's stats by year. So in 2017, he averaged 95 in 3 matches. 2018 and 2019, where he played 10 and 7 matches respectively, he was in the low 30s. So
Kumara,
Aidan Markram looking...
Yeah. Short and ducks underneath it, no run. Yep.
Yeah. So Aidan Markram definitely needs to find some sort of consistency and form. I know lockdown he has been quiet. Probably finding a lot of form in quizzes. Hey Otto.
Yep. He joined us for the lockdown sports quiz. Yes.
If he needs to find form, he's only had form in 2017. And that was, 3 test matches. So, okay, he averaged 95 then. Otherwise, he's a good opener, average 35, 40, and just go with it. Because
nice drive there by Markram to bring up his 50.
Lovely.
Goes down to the third man boundary for 4 past the slips. I think a thick edge there, but all along the ground. Nice form there by Markram in terms of his stance and his balance. He's looking good because in the 2019-20, those 10 test matches, he got dismissed rather tamely, I would say, with balls going through the gate and nicking off into the slip cordon. This one off the face of the bat, just behind square to backward point. And past the gully, actually, so much squarer than I thought at first. So just on backward point through to the boundary. So nice shot there by Aidan. Was outside half, but he got enough on it to make it look like that's where he wanted to play it. I think he might have wanted it a bit straighter.
He opened the face off the bat, didn't he? He opened the face of his bat really well. And got it just right.
Yeah. And this is Hasaranga to Algar. This is out into extra cover, no run. And they've got the short square leg, a slip, and then extra cover quite close to the wicket. Let's see what Hasaranga can do here for Sri Lanka. This one on leg stump, flicked away to square leg, past the man at short square leg to square leg on the boundary, and they take a single. Looks like he's asking for gloves and maybe a fresh helmet. As I said before, it is quite humid in Pretoria today, which is unusual, but we've had a lot of rain in the past 6 weeks. We measured about 142 millimeters here, 20 kilometers south of the ground in December only. Hasaranga to Markram now plays this to a diving Hasaranga to mid-on. And he just got a hand on the ball there, so no run. 93 without loss.
When spinners dive like that, do they really expect to stop the ball? Or is it the kind of performative thing? I have to show willing to stop it. Because he didn't really commit to that, did he?
Yeah, he sort of dived over it. He dove over it. That next one was off the back foot out to extra cover by Markram. This one blocked down the pitch by Markram, and once again, no run. 93 now without loss, and only the single so far off the over. Hasaranga is going to come in again. He's over the wicket to the right-handed Markram, and this one is outside off, played back to the bowler, no run. Yeah, I think it looks like Markram and Algar both are concentrating on, except for that cut shot that got the edge off Markram past slip. They're looking to play the ball down into the ground off the spinner to take those modes of dismissal out of the picture. 93-run partnership now for South Africa of 124 balls, 34 by Markram or 56, and 51 by Aiden Markram. Good to see him back in the half century. 65 balls Aiden Markram has faced.
It is exactly what I expected of South Africa. Now, the thing is, you guys are South Africans, so you don't dare predict what will happen. But this is what I thought would happen. Forget jinxing. This is exactly what I hoped for from Elgar and Markram. They are a bloody good opening partnership, and they've proved it.
Kumara threw past the outside edge of Algar around the wicket to the left-hander, and there's no run. Algar sort of tried to play a defensive back foot punch, beat the outside edge, no run. I didn't see the speed there by Kumara, but we noticed him going over close to 145, 90 miles an hour, and then dropping back down to 130 odd. So he's also
that was one of his quicker balls. That was 144.
Yeah.
So that was 90 miles per hour for English.
Effort ball. Yeah. Kumara in again around to Algar, and this one off his pads, played that out to square leg, just behind square where it's fielded now, and they go through for a single. So Markram will be facing Kumara now, who will come over the wicket most probably to Markram.
Have we got any more tweets?
We have an interesting tweet from where is it? I found it on the SA versus Sri Lanka thing, but it seems to have updated. But basically, someone said Test cricket makes you into a couch potato. This individual was invited for lunch. This individual was invited for lunch with his friends, and he actually said he's not feeling too well.
Kumara to Markram over the leg stump bouncer and beats the keeper as well. And it's a 4 behind the keeper for South Africa. Once again, is that the pitch? I didn't see exactly where. It's 13 now. Let's see where this pitch. That was short. It was pitched short, middle of the pitch, just on the batsman's side of middle. No, that was almost bounced in front of Kumara's own feet, and over the wicket keeper for 4 runs. 99 without loss. South Africa trail now by only 297 runs. So great job here by the openers, getting us closer to the target here and not looking phased at all. Nice solid run rate. Kumara over the wicket to Markram. This one hits Markram on the pads, it seems, according to Kumara, but nobody else is interested in appealing. I think there must have been some bat involved, and the ball struck Markram high in front of the stumps. He tripled around a bit. I was prancing around a bit, kicking the ball away from his stumps as it bounced down onto his upward inner thigh off an inside edge, and then he had to kick it to the side to avoid it.
Thigh? Oh yes, it was his thigh and his arm.
I think this is where Sri Lanka are missing a partnership breaker like Dhananjaya De Silva, because historically he would always come in and sort of be that sort of callous. Well, okay, horrible comparison to make of any cricket player, but made him to a Jacques Kallis, a Ben Stokes sort of
Kumara to Markram, no run back to the bowler.
Interesting. Maybe not. Interesting tweet here. from Dennis Rohane. I'm old enough to remember when Dean Alga made a pair on debut. What a tough loss he's turned out to be.
Yes, that was a while ago. Hey, and Algar has been a good servant of South Africa for a while now, and Kumara comes into Markram over the wicket, 2 slips in, lets this one go through to the keeper outside off stump, and no run.
I want Markram and Elgar to do well because I like them as a pair. But then I also want Themba Bavuma to do well. I also want Quinton de Kock to do well. I also want Faf du Plessis to do well. But if they do too well, all of them, then Sri Lanka will be battered out of this game. So I'm not quite sure. I'm kind of torn. I want them to do well, but not that well, because I want this to be a match. I want Sri Lanka to do well as well.
Kumara over the wicket, and Markram lifts his hands high above his head to let it go through to the keeper for no run. And that's the end of Kumara's over, as they're playing replays here of the previous successful campaign by Sri Lanka here in South Africa. The dismissals here, one after the other. And we can see that those type of deliveries we haven't seen today or from Sri Lanka yet.
True, but that previous campaign of Sri Lanka is just 2 tests, but I'll remember that last wicket stand. Sorry, it's a bad memory for you guys, but I love that. I love
it. We had a gentleman from Sri Lanka as part of our commentary team and our LNS team when that partnership won the first test, and it was something special to listen to be part of that. It was awesome.
He was nearly crying by the end. He was nearly crying.
He was so emotional. It was awesome.
But I mean, well done, South Africa, for giving Sri Lanka that joy and that triumph. But
Hasaranga to Algar out to mid-off, no run. No, that's good memories for Sri Lanka there.
Have Sri Lanka got only one spinner?
Hasaranga to Algar plays this to mid-on, where Hasaranga feels tumbling to his left or on his knees to his left, no run. I'm not sure. De Silva is also a spinner, right? The injured guy.
Yeah, I mean, the spin doesn't seem to be working much on this wicket, but I would expect Sri Lanka
Algar out to the extra cover boundary, and they take a single. 100 up for South Africa. Yay!
First time in a long time.
Yeah. So when was the last 100-run partnership between South African openers?
Literally, it was 2017. It was literally 2017 when they hit the
Zimbabwe.
240. Yeah. No, Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Okay. So well done, Algar and Markram, with a few extras thrown in by Sri Lanka. Hasaranga to Markram defends this, just dribbles off the wicket, no run.
It's ridiculous that they've scored 100 and 134 balls. A run rate of 4.6.
Hasaranga to Markram. Yeah, he flicks this past leg stump, and it rolls gently down to the boundary for another 4. So 104 there without loss. Hasaranga, they're straying on to pitch the ball way too far to the leg side, and an easy just helped it along his way there by Markram. It looked like it was a variation that he tried. The keeper missed it, came off the inside edge of the right-hander's bat as he flicked it helped it on its way past.
I'm not sure if you're following the New Zealand versus Pakistan test, but there is a young gent with the whiteboard in the crowds there, because obviously New Zealand are allowing fans into the stadiums because they've managed the pandemic quite well. And and Paul's just tweeted us, and this tweet has got some really funny tweets. One of them is dad joke of the day. Do you bowl spin? Asks the son, and then the dad replies, Naseem.
So that last ball by Hasaranga was played by Markram to mid-off, misfield by the bowler, and they took a single. Markram is on strike, and 105 now without loss.
And then in classic Pakistan fashion, this chap has created 4 tallies for Pakistan, and it says Pakistan at the top, and it says dropped catches, and he's got 2 there. Misfields, he's got 6. Poor throws, he's got too many to count, and the poor use of DRS, he's got 2 to count. And then Paul Moreki has tweeted us saying, "Can we get one man in the stadium with the white ball?" Although what can he tell?
Well, he can help the fielders. He can help the guys fetch the balls.
A very interesting stat comes up. Elgar has scored more runs than any other South African batsman in this team.
Yep.
Including Faf du Plessis.
Yep.
And then if you notice, and Chris TB has tweeted us saying that Markram now averages 40 on the dot, and finally the no South African averages over 40 thing can stop for a bit. Very interesting stat to note. Although if everyone were to get their average, Chris can do the maths here. I wonder what we'd end up. So it's 41 to the gift the screen's got. But it's interesting that since South Africa's lost Amla, no one has really averaged 40 over a while.
Fernando replacing Kumara, and his left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Markram, who just yielded no run, that delivery. And so he's bowling from the Henops River end. He's got 2 slips and a gully cover and an extra cover, and then a wideish mid-on. Markram plays this one outside off stump, cover drive to the sweeper on the boundary, and they'll probably only take a single. That's it, 106 without loss. South Africa trail by 100. And
Ravi Reddy, the other Ravi, so not that Ravi, has tweeted us saying, "What's the deal with the T-shirt sponsors for the Proteas? We're looking a bit barren at the moment."
We lost our sponsor.
I'm not the biggest fan of Sri Lanka's T-shirt sponsoring, purely because the white of the sponsor is not the same white as their kit, and it throws me off.
I have to say, I'm just grateful that, unlike the IPL, they've allowed the players' names to be on top of their numbers. In the IPL, they put the sponsor's name there on the back of the T-shirts, and the player's name above their bum. It was unreadable. So I'm just glad.
To Elgar, defends this to Gully, no run. Down into the ground.
I quite like the shirt without the sponsors. It looks a lot cleaner.
Old school.
Yeah, but without the sponsors, you probably wouldn't have the match. So we've got to pay the price.
Yeah,
I mean, One World Sports Radio is willing to sponsor. We have, I think the pot is now 20 Rand from yesterday's 10. So we're growing with our sponsorship funding.
Fernando to Elgar. He defends this 2 point, and there's no run. Where is this sponsorship coming in, AB, so we can send people there if they want to help us out?
No, we're going to put one WSR on the front of.
Oh yes, okay. So we need
every player's shirts except Faf du Plessis, because Faf du Plessis doesn't want to wear shirts anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Can I ask a question? The black armband suddenly seems to have disappeared.
Fernando to Elgar flashes hard at this one, and it goes over the gap between gully and slip for a 4. Let's see if that was an edge. It probably wasn't where Elgar wanted it to go.
It was definitely an edge.
Armbands, I can see Markram has got one, but his shirt sleeve is rolled up over it. He's got that on his left arm. And we'll check now.
So I think Aiden's keeping his armband on because it does accentuate his biceps. Dean Elgar, is getting on in age and doesn't really have the biceps that Markram has. I'm sure when Faf du Plessis gets to the crease, we're going to see 800 armbands on because, Faf wants to really show off those.
Fernando to Algar, driven nicely, but fielded just as well at mid-off. They go through for a single. And Algar, that previous shot was a booming cover drive that just got the edge and into that gap once again between the slips and a gully, and the fielder there, rightly so, being congratulated for stopping that 4. So 3 runs saved there. Algar moves on to 41, 111 now without loss. So feet off the ground, South African fans, or stand on one leg if you're not sitting down.
That fielder who stopped that boundary, was he really to be congratulated that much, or was it what you'd expect?
Yeah, token celebration there. Just maybe the Sri Lankans trying to get some atmosphere going, some team spirit. Because 111 without loss, suddenly their 300 and odd, 400 almost doesn't look so ominous anymore.
As you can see, also my feet are up.
Continues. So. Okay. All right. Cool. Keep them there. No run there by the first delivery of Saranga, who comes into Algar once again over the wicket to the left-hander on his stumps, flicked away. Short leg fields this. Short leg fields this one. No run. Algar is now on 41 of 65 balls. Markram on 57 of 77. And Hasaranga in again to Algar on middle, defended to short square leg. No run. Let's see here. Hasaranga has conceded 13 in 4.2, 4.3 overs so far. South Africa trail by 285. He's in again to Algar on middle stump, swatted away with a nice pull shot, a bit short there from Hasaranga, and it goes to the backward square leg boundary for a 4. 115 without loss, and feet can go down.
So, and then I'm just following quick info as well. And it seems that Lawrence, a South African supporter, has said, "Hi guys, the South African openers couldn't have asked for a less experienced blowing lineup to get back into the test groove." Blowing lineup is what Lawrence wrote. And then Lawrence went on further and said, "And sure looks like Dean and Adrian," so not Aiden, Adrian Markram, not to be confused with his less talented brother, Aiden, have stelled down pretty well. So it seems like Crick Info are struggling with their comments. I think our Guerilla SA listeners should also be tweeting or to be typing to Crick Info as well, because if they're posting Lawrence's message,
Hasaranga gets a back foot drive, another punishment for a bad ball outside off stump, too short. Algar pounces on this one and it goes to extra cover for 4. Hasaranga into Algar again on leg stump, flicks this past backward square leg to the square leg boundary for 4. So Hasaranga missing his length here completely in this over. 3 short deliveries and 1 on leg stump that reached the boundary and gives Algar his 15th test 50. So well done to Algar. 1, 2, 3 without loss, and South Africa trail by 273.
3 4s in that over already, and 2 of them were really lovely strokes by Algar. At least 2
punishing the length, punishing the short length. Too short by Hasaranga gives Algar time to just rock back and play a nice pull shot and an excellent back foot drive. And then that pull shot past backward square leg for 4.
I mean, when Dean Algar scoring at a strike rate of 74.6, you need to question your bowlers, particularly your spinners. What the hell are they doing?
Fair enough, Ravi.
It's definitely letting South Africa back into this game. The run rate that they've been able to go at, Fernando will continue now to Markram. He's going left arm around the wicket to the right-hander, just testing his run up there as we wait for him to deliver his first ball there. He's got 2 slips, gully, shortish extra cover and a shortish mid-off, wideish mid-on or short mid-wicket, shortish mid-wicket, should I say, all of them on the on the inner ring, where the inner ring would be in the ODI games. They've got a fine leg on the boundary, and I don't see a third man on the boundary, but there's probably a sweeper on the offside as well. So he comes in the wicket, left-handed to
This is our final over. This is our final over on this session.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. So we'll go through this one. We'll have a little bit more time to talk now. Markram to the onside, and they take a single, 124 without loss.
So all I need to do is make sure that there's no wickets. Because I started when the Proteas started batting, and we haven't lost a wicket.
Well done, AB.
Oh, come on. You're not going to claim your lucky charm or something.
I'm saying I'm a very superstitious person, and this is all I need.
Fernando over the wicket to Algar, who plays this off his hips down to backward square leg for another 4. Line straying there by Fernando and too short. Algar just flicks it off his hip. Good shot there by Algar. As we see,
if we don't lose a wicket, I'm going to grab a beer. That's all I'm saying.
Nicely. What is the point of the Sri Lankan fielders? They've not stopped a boundary yet.
Yeah,
and
they haven't caught anything in close.
No catching chances yet, and fielders are standing there. But if the bowlers don't put the ball in the right area, that's in vain. So Fernando again to Algar, again off his hips in front of his middle stump. That this time the sweeper at deep mid wicket gets there, and they take a single, 129 without loss. And both the openers over 50 runs now scored in this opening stand. So that's a very good sign for South African cricket.
But they're still looking for their drinks and their helmet. He still wants another helmet, and he's not getting it, is he?
No, not yet. Fernando. Round the wicket to Algar. To Markram, sorry, and this one straightens off the pitch, beats the outside edge, and there's no run.
Oh, that was a good ball. That was a bloody good delivery. Markram looked clueless about that.
He tried to play the line, but the ball gets some movement off the wicket, enough to beat the outside edge, and the keeper catches it almost in front of first slip after the ball bounced just outside off. So excellent delivery. Yeah. By Fernando.
And look at that seam and the seam movement. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and this one defended on his off stump by Markram. This next delivery out to the covers for no run. So that's exactly what we saw with the South Africans, that there was these intermittent flashes of brilliance followed by absolute turds of deliveries that gave Sri Lanka all the opportunity to score and make us look ordinary, and now they're doing the same thing. So Markram facing Fernando again around the wicket, the left arm seamer, and this one is angled in at the off stump, and Markram tries to leave it, but it catches him on what looked to me like the back thigh, too high for an LBW. There was a sort of a quick appeal and then stifled by Sri Lanka, and it's drinks, end of the over. That's the end of our stint as well. I assume that Mpo will take over now. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, AB. That was lots of fun. I'm enjoying this so much. It's not ideal. We can't share a studio, but this is certainly something different, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
So all I'm saying is I kept my word on no wickets.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for joining. Really do appreciate it. It's lovely to have a scorecard going, but it was really amazing listening to you guys. I love Ravi. I love your laugh.
Right. You're still taking sessions that I'm not going to be on. I know this.
Okay.
You.
Take it up with Simon.
We can swap tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, we'll see about tomorrow. I'm leaving now. Bye.
Okay, sure. Just as we add on Chris TB for the first stint of his virtual Guerilla Cricket South Africa at home, and we've got Dave as well to take us through the next hour to tea, which will take us through to about 20 to 3. Gents, what have you enjoyed about this last hour? Because I think it's just been very pleasant to be calm as a South African.
Yeah. It feels wrong. It feels like I'm dreaming, the fact that cricket's actually going to South Africa over briefly.
Yes, and Dave?
For me, it's back to what should be rather than what has been for the last little while. Like Chris said, it's kind of uneasy because we've gotten so accustomed to South African top orders floundering. So this is oddly pleasing.
I just have a quick question between the two of you. How has the feed been looking over the past hour? Dave, I think you said you had you're 2 balls behind, and Chris, are you?
Yeah, I was probably about a ball behind. I can sort of let you know what's happening on my screen once the adverts streaming off the live stream.
What I'm going to say is, Dave, you can run us through ball by ball, and then I'll do tweets, and then Chris, just color in. You might be slightly earlier than Dave, but just hold on.
I can pause it if I need as well to try and do my best to sync it up.
That makes sense. That helps. And then from a tweeting perspective, Angelic Scooters, Evil Scooters, is tweeting us for the first time this season. He says, "Hello, Guerilla SA. Was very pleased to hear several of your members doing the women's domestic T20 competition. Glad to finally join you for test coverage again. Happy festive to you all." Yes, happy festive season to you too, Evil Scooters. Chris, you were there with me in Cape Town. How was that?
Oh, yeah, that was lovely. One of the better experiences I've ever had to actually be able to do it from the ground. Yeah, really feeling like a part of it rather than just people watching and chatting with your friends. Felt much more a part of the whole experience. Just as a heads up, I'm doing this on my phone, and I was telling them my phone's too hot and it's going to stop charging, so I may have to switch over to my laptop at some stage.
Okay. Cool.
You gotta find your fans, Chris. All of your millions of Chris TB fans. Get them in there.
So let's talk about Aiden Markram and how well he's been batting. Dave, I think you tweeted. Let me read your tweet. Is it too critical of the opening partnership to be expected to score a mountain of runs? It is their own ground. I'm just asking for a friend.
I mean, it is their own ground. Sources come off of a couple of hundreds back to back. Why should we be overly surprised that he's scoring runs? Should we not say this is how it should be? And the same for Dean Elgar, or is that too critical in the first test of the season?
I'm 50-50 with that, because I kind of feel yes they're playing at home in their home ground. It's the same batting partnership we've had throughout this season so far, and Sosa scored like a bucket. He's already scored like 600 runs, and we're really like 6 games into the domestic season. But also they at international level, Sosa, and I've been one of his biggest critics, hasn't been able to live up to that hype that he's received over the years. And so it's really good to see him. He struggled with the straight ball, and it's good to see him handle the straight ball, especially from the left-hander. You'll just let me know once they're back on the field, Dave.
I'll definitely I'll let you know. We're still watching August 50 here.
Yeah, so it's good that he's worked. All those things that were bothering him in his game have seemingly gone, and he seemingly worked around that. And he did tell us throughout the lockdown that that he was working on that. So really happy that Source, as they call him, also known as Aiden Markram, is back in the fold.
Absolutely. So another splendid day at Supersport Park in Centurion, the northern half of South Africa. Highveld, both games are being played at the Highveld, and Paul, they've got this game and then New Year's from the Imperial Wanderers Stadium, which is a stark contrast to what we as South African cricket fans know, where it's usually at Newlands.
Yes, especially also with the Boxing Day test. They only moved the Boxing Day test to Centurion about 2 years ago.
Yeah. So Aiden also Elgar facing up to Hasaranga, and he just dots this onto the onside, no run.
Yes. Yeah. Just trying to figure out if Chris is moving off to his laptop. Okay.
Not a problem. Hasaranga in again, a shorter one this time, and it dies as it goes through to the wicketkeeper. Elga's watching that one with a bit of a smile on his face.
Yeah. We just have to. Okay. So Chris is going to join us soon.
Not a problem. Elgar facing now. He's got the right-handed Hasaranga on debut, bowling for his third delivery, and he tries to work that away onto the onside. Doesn't quite time it, and it just dies out the deck. No run. 129 for no wicket. Elgar and Markram both on 58, and just 25 runs coming from 5.5 overs from Hasaranga. He's in again now, and this is a better line. Markram sets off in excitement for a run, but Dinagar denies him.
Yes, it's very interesting that the Proteas are using the change room that is normally for the away team for this series, and not the normal home team change room, which is across the across the way on the pavilion. It's just it's quite interesting.
COVID bubbles, I guess. Last ball of the sixth now, and dots it into the offside. End of the sixth over for Hasaranga. 129 of that loss.
Yeah, it's just odd because I think that was where one of the fans just below, but there are no fans anymore, so probably they'll use that change room. But one of the fans when India were here, we're just waiting for Chris to add on to stream. When India were here, was shouting at Rohit Sharma. And telling him how bad he was. And then he couldn't, when the Indian team wanted to confront him, they couldn't, he decided to run away and he was chased by security. And so that's why the Proteas never liked using that change room, because fans could shout and do everything, as well as the change room in the middle of the pavilion is the one where they like to be as far away from the fans as possible.
Yeah, I can't say that I blame them. And we're just having a look at the change room with South Africa's options with bowling is in a guy like Lucius Sapamla. I think he really showed his class in the second half of yesterday's play. He got off to a howler of a start, and it was wonderful to see him come back in the late session. Vishwa Fernando now bowling around the wicket to Source, and he lets that go. No run.
Yes, and looking at the tweets, going through some tweets, Leah replying to the dad joke tweet that I tweeted in, she says, I have a dad joke as well. Kohli, bowl at the stumps. Sharma, I shan't. And,
I remember that being a thing a while ago, the last time Australia and India played each other.
Fernando in again and left alone, no run. Always love a shame to say no run.
Ravi Reddy saying there have been some rather peculiar pitches in world cricket. New Zealand have produced backyard cricket pitches for the Windies tour a few weeks back. Did you guys see the one that Pakistan got? Yes,
normally the day before, New Zealand pitches the day before always look very green, just like a garden. You go, oh no, that'll be cut as normal. It'll look better on the day. But this most recent
Fernando in again, and this is just defended by Markram as Vishwa Fernando sticks a foot out there and looks like a synchronized swimmer as he stops that ball halfway through his eighth. Yeah, it almost looks like lush fields rather than a strip, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult to differentiate it from the rest of the square.
The wonders of New Zealand cricket.
And then we've got a tweet.
Having a bit of technical issues here.
Okay, we've got a tweet from Ravi. Okay. We've got a tweet from Ravi. 50 for Alga, 70 odd balls, ticking nicely. And then you just need to tell me when to stop. Josie Oak, I'm back. Doesn't look like I missed much. Sri Lankan bowling looking threadbare. Seems like
Vishwa Fernando coming in once again, and Markram just dots that out and they run. Just the single there.
So Josie Oak saying, I'm back. Doesn't look like I missed much. Sri Lankan bowling looks threadbare. Seems to be a storm about to come through in Hyde Park. Weather, I guess, will be building up in Pretoria too. That's normally that weather pattern where you'll get that afternoon thunderstorm. So we'll have a watch on it. We'll just probably, if Simon, you're listening, please tweet us about the weather and let us know, and we'll just have a little weather report as well.
One ball remaining in this Fernando over. South Africa 130 without loss. Elgar is still on 58, while his partner has managed to add to his score since we joined. And Vishwa now at the top of his mark. He's stemming past Murray Erasmus. He's coming over the wicket to the left hand, and that's through the keeper. No run. End of that over.
Yes, end of that over. 130. Markham on 59. Dean Algar on 58. They're just carrying on from domestic cricket. It seems they do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Chris, can you adjust
Chris,
your
go
camera
for it.
there? It looks like we're looking at a ceiling rather than your beautiful face.
Yeah, I can, but I'm resting it on top of a cool drink that's been in the fridge to try and get the temperature down. So it's actually charged. Yeah, no, it's a real put together last minute sort of thing. I've just been doing a bit of maths because we were speaking about Markram just getting over that 40 mark. So we have one batsman averaging over 40. I think Olga will have to get 152 not out here, or 192 out to also be part of that over 40 club.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually very. Oh yes, yeah, because obviously Markram's now over 40, and the last time the South African team fielded a batting lineup of people who had an average under 40 was 1999. So it's been
this one's cut away, and that'll race to the boundary for 4. Boundary to start the next over from Hasaranga. Markram is not messing around here. In a hurry, lad.
Yes, that was a very nice cut. They just waited for it. It was late, and just went on with the what do we call it? The leg spinners, natural variation, and very clever from Aiden Markram there.
Is it a Fanta, Chris, the drink you mentioned? Hasaranga in and full and just flicked away wide of a mid-on, and that will go for a boundary. Back-to-back 4s here from Source. Good stuff.
It's a Valentino Rossi branded monster.
Oh, okay.
So if Monster want to send us some money or to just send me some monsters, I'll happily put that camera in the shot as well.
The doctor.
Yeah. So Otto replying to you, Dave, he says, no, they should be able to live up to their abilities. And then AB
Markram
tweeted.
Looking for perhaps a third one here. He doesn't get it as he has to just defend that to point and no run.
And then AB tweeted, one of our friends at Running Fly Half, Luwe, test bowling averages, Pat Cummings 21.45, Jasprit Brummer 20.51, Luto Sipamla.
Hasaranga in again, and this is straighter, but no run.
Yeah. Dave, as a coach, Luto's comeback yesterday from that first session, it must be pleasing to see him come back after that ridiculous first session. He literally had one bad session.
Hasaranga there just gives a slightly wider off stump line there to Markram. Just drives out into the covers for a single. I think it's just nerves. International cricket, you opening the bowling.
I think we've lost.
So yeah, international cricket nerves. Your first test for your country.
Okay. Sounds like he's in and out a little bit there.
It does. We just do apologize for that.
Yeah.
Dave,
I can try to pick up the slack. You're talking about Sapamla averaging 19. If you really want to get that down, Anila Petlakaya is still only averaging 13.3 in his test bowling average. Can really pack the side with bowlers with low averages.
Yes, Dave, are you back again? Just let us know if there was a plane.
I'm back
for a moment. Okay. Yes, so end
I'm
of
back.
that
I'm
over.
back. Yeah, Lucius Pamela. Yes, absolutely. End of that. So I just think with Lucius Pamela, he just needed to spend time bowling. Overs will get you into a rhythm, and once you get that first wicket, it almost opens the tap really, because once he got one, he got two and three and four. So you knew he was gonna come right. It just needed some time.
Yeah, and I think that was the case. Just a baptism of fire, and then he turned it around. Otto tweeting saying, if there's a thunderstorm, it will be violent, quickly gone, and Centurion drains really well. We might lose 45 minutes or so.
In again now, the left-armed Vishwa Fernando, who goes to Elgo, just tucks this off his pads, and they will canter through just the single rather than the two. So just rotating strike here at the moment.
But yeah, baptism of fire in a few ways for Pamela. If you think most debutants get the chance to have, especially South African debutants, get to have an experienced pack around them, you come into the side and there is a Fernando, Steyn or Ramada to sort of take you under their wing. But he didn't have any of that. Total matches 12 between the fast bowlers in this game.
Vishwa Fernando now coming to Aiden Markham. Round the wicket, wide of the crease, and he just lets that go through to the wicketkeeper. Nothing there for him.
Yeah, nothing there for him in there. So South Africa still going well. 141 run partnership that we would take, and if you're Mark Boucher, you'd take that as well. And yeah, I think the South African camp would be a lot calmer now coming in if they do at having 41 opening partnership.
Markram once again facing, and he just has to pull his hands out the way there sharply. That one jumped a little bit more. We've seen that a couple of times where the surface has produced some of those spitting deliveries with the cracks. We saw a couple that went over the wicketkeeper's head in this innings.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the batsmen need to worry about going into this going into bat. That there's always one that might just jump up sharply.
Absolutely. Vishwa Fernando halfway through his ninth. South Africa 141 for no wicket. That one sliced, and that's been caught at gully. That's the end of it. And Markham is disappointed with himself there. He's looked in the skies and said, why? South Africa lose their first.
Very loose shot there from Aiden Markham. Chris, I think, are you as disappointed as the rest of us?
Yeah, I mean, at least we can still look at that scorecard and it says 141 for one. It's not an early loss, but it's especially frustrating when it is such a strong start. And I think a lot of us are behind Markram and really wanted to see him double up that 50. So it's frustrating on that front.
So we have a tweet from AB Muller already. He says, I leave the comms and Markram gets out with a very disappointed face. It's what it is. We don't intend to take wickets, but if you are Aiden Markram's lucky bunny, you can always come on, AB, and let's see how far we can go for the next innings.
Another call him back.
Yes. So Aiden Markram, he is, as we'll get you Aiden Markram's figures. Aiden Markram, he's out caught Chanaka at point. Bowled Fernando 68 runs off of 94 balls. He had 14 fours in his innings with 0 sixes at a strike rate of 72. South Africa 141 for one, run rate of 4.96. The next batsman in is Rassie van der Dussen. He's only played 5 test matches, 9 innings. He has 274 runs at an average of 34.25, 350s to his name, including 98 versus England at Johannesburg. Dave, I'm expecting a lot from Rassie. I really do like Rassie.
I think Rassie has a golden opportunity here. I know we spoke yesterday about him being under maybe a bit of unnecessary pressure created by me, but I think Rassie has an opportunity for himself to cement his place in this South African batting lineup. You spoke about those 50s that he has scored in the short span of his Test career, but I think he's got to come on and build with what the openers have set. Both of them, have batted together at domestic level for a long time, and he wouldn't have batted with Dean Elgar all that much besides in the national setup. But if he doesn't score big here, I think he's missing out on a golden opportunity to cement his position, at least for the rest of the summer. His immediate contender might be a guy like Zubair Hamza, but he hasn't scored runs at all in a while. So, the obvious switch, there isn't really an obvious switch other than the guys who are in the squad, like a Reinhard van Tonder or a Keegan Peterson. So he just needs to score runs, and I think he'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Vishwa now. He's put a third slip in place. Comes round again and just left alone by Van der Dussen, no run.
And whilst we're on 40 average, watch Van der Dussen needs 46 not-outs or 86 outs to also join the 40 club.
Okay.
He's not too far off.
Yeah, he isn't too far off. Leah's tweet a couple of minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, he says, Labuschagne has been pretty strong in refusing runs, the refusing runs department this series. My favorite was his 9 delivered in a kind of death metal growl. That's talking about our
in and just left alone, no run.
Yes, and then she tweets again saying, come on, Proteas, time to entertain me with an epic collapse to rival Pakistan's best performances in that department or India at Adelaide. I think we've passed
it. Did you say that before or after the wicket?
After the wicket.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, we had someone to blame for that.
And then we've got Knuckles' tweet, but after the next ball.
I've just got the score in front of me, but 13 extras from the Sri Lankans. Not as bad as the South Africans were, but still not exactly.
South Africa were horrific in the extras column. It was just disgusting to see. And I know they'll say no, but some of the bouncers took off after they'd left the wicket, and they couldn't get much. But you can't have 37 extras in an innings. That's essentially another batsman.
Yeah.
I think Chris, Dave's gone off comms quickly, and he's having some technical issues.
I can cover up ball by ball.
Sure.
It's the second delivery of Hasaranga's over. It's a flighted delivery, pitches around leg stump, and it's just guided into the onside by Elgar. They scuttle through for a single there.
Okay, Dave is back with us. Just do bear with us as we go through these technological adjustments. Knuckle tweeted, hello, pals, just checking in, coming off air from Big Bash Comms. This is not the Centurion Viper I am used to. Are there no certainties anymore in this world of flux? Knuckle, all I can say is welcome to 2020. This is what it is. Centurion is providing
unprecedented times.
I'm just worried. I just hope in 2021 we can get a very lovely a Wanderers wicket with a lot of pace and bounce. And because I think in the domestic series we haven't seen a lot of that at the Wanderers as well this year.
No, there's not been much of that. Hasaranga halfway through his 8th. He comes in again to Van der Dussen, who just strides forward and defends. There's a man under the helmet lurking. No run.
Yeah, look, I think for Sri Lanka, obviously they've opened up an end, and they'll be wanting to provide Rassie with a lot of good
in again now, and Rassie drives this out into the covers. No run once again, keeping it tight here is Hasaranga.
Yeah, I think you're just going to want to keep Rassie on as low a total as possible. Just keep him quiet at that end, make him wonder where his next run's going to come from. He's sat in the changing room looking at how easily Elgar and Markram have been scoring, and he'd be expecting that, and that's what Sri Lanka need to be playing against.
Turned around the corner there by Van der Dussen for him to get off the mark, and that is the end of Hasaranga's 8th. He's kept it fairly quiet, and not much to howl about. Remember, a guy like Danajaya De Silva, who's not in the setup, would have added as well in the bowling department. But somebody who's missed out, and perhaps unfortunately, who did well in the last series before his thumb was badly damaged in Durban, was Lasith Embaldenia, the man who looks like a penguin.
He's actually in the squad, so he's in South Africa as part of the squad.
Just
I think
carrying drinks.
Yeah, 11 members of that squad that won the series last year are here in South Africa. So there's a lot of guys who remember how it was when they dominated South Africa for 2 tests.
Kusal Pereira was the criminal with the bat, or criminal for South Africans. Fernando, the start of his 10th, and that's just left alone by about 1,000, no run. Some words of advice there from Dean Elgar. Obviously, this is his home ground, so he's maybe just saying, don't worry about this pitch. Get yourself in. Be patient.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's about waiting for the bad ball. Right now, Vishwa Fernando is bowling really well, and so you just need to see him through, and then hopefully you can find some joy on the other end of the pitch.
Copy and paste with that next delivery. It's just left alone. Not much fuss. 1 for 33 from his 9.2 so far. Paul, you mentioned that he's bowling well, and I think he's somebody that was still fairly new in the Sri Lankan Test squad the last time out against the South Africans. So the importance of having to come to South Africa before, but also being on the winning side of a team is massive impact. Can have a massive impact, rather.
No, yes, it can.
This one's punched through the covers, and he just gets through for the one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what I mean, it can, and I think he's had a whole year to be able to grow in the game and be given that responsibility. He bowls it really well. He has that shape. I don't know, but I was telling the guys earlier on before lunch that left arm seamers just seem to look the part. Obviously, I think it's probably because we're so used to right arm seamers, but the shape that he's getting, Vishwa Fernandez, is very good.
I think also the fact that he's coming around the wicket is creating that angle back into the right hand. He's coming over the wicket now to the left-handed Elgar, who just pushes at it and is dismissed. Something that I saw, speaking of guys doing well, is a lot of leg slip catches in the Australia-India series. It's the new trend, Chris.
Yeah, and there's two sides also mirroring each other in a few ways in terms of the way that they set their fields. But Ravi Ashwin and Nathan Lyon both benefiting from those leg slips.
Fernando with a bouncer to Elgar, who just leaves this alone, no run. And it's signaled as a wide. Oh dear.
Thank you, Maria.
Yes, Murray's been on point. There was that LBW that he gave off of Vian at the end of the day yesterday, that Vian was bowling, and he was bowling to the left-hander, a right arm over, and we all thought it pitched outside leg, and he was gun. He was on point, saying no, that actually was out. And upon review, we all found out how great an ICC level umpire he is.
This one's short and wide, and he's just smacked that into the ground, but there's a man lurking there at a straightish point. I think we saw his prowess in the Ashes series, where everyone was upset with, I think it was the West Indian umpire, Joel Wilson?
Wilson.
Yeah, Joel Wilson, yes,
Yeah.
Not happy with him, but Murray Erasmus, quality.
And the other guy on the other end, Adrian Holstock, is in his first IC international test. Is doing a good job as well. It's just funny because obviously Murray Rasmus has never umpired a South African test, and Adrian Holstock is umpiring a South African test now as his first test, and so it could be a pub quiz as well as to how many tests either one of them have umpired for their home team.
End of the 31st. That last one was just off the back foot and dropped and run. 146 for one. Vishwa Fernando, the pick of the Sri Lanka bowlers. 10 overs, 1 made and 1 for 36.
Yeah, so Holdstock
much better.
Became the 10th South African Test umpire since readmission.
Do you think
there's one very familiar? Sorry.
Yes, you said there's one very familiar.
Barry Lamson.
One that you're quite familiar with. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, umpire Barry Lamson.
Who are the 10, Chris?
We can turn it into a game. I mean, there's a few that you'll be able to guess, and then a few that are definitely before my time.
Rudy Kurtzen.
Hasaranga there with the first ball, and that's just tucked to a deep square leg, and they get through for the 1.
So we've got Rudy, we've got these 2, and we've got umpire Bailey. So there's another 6 on the list.
Well, let's ask our listeners and those listening and watching us. Who are
Cyril
the 10
Midgley?
Yes, Cyril Midgley. I didn't want to say it because
yes,
probably
26.
Hasaranga in again and left alone. Vanderson not interested in that.
You've obviously got Murray. You've got so I'm out.
Hasaranga in again, and this one's fuller this time. He just defends it.
So I can try and give you clues as to
Adrian and Murray. So that's 4.
I can try and give clues as to when.
Brian Jerling.
Yes.
Hasaranga in again, and this is driven through the covers. And
Brian Jerling,
one man.
4 tests in 2006.
Yes.
That was a good shot by Dean Alger.
And then there's an umpire who stood 9 tests between 2001 and 2007.
Yeah, so that shot, that 4 from Dean Alger, that last 4 was very good, just picking up off of that length and pulling it out to square leg.
Absolutely. He's finding a bit of a release for himself against Hasaranga because, something short like that, you've got to put it away. There's no question about it, and he's done exactly that. 152 for 1 ball remaining in Hasaranga's 6th, and he's got a wry smile to the man under the helmet, Kusal Mendes.
Yeah. We've got some. Just let me know when that final ball is up so I can do tweets.
Sure, I will let you know. We're just having a look at the replay there where Kusal Mendes almost got a concussion from Dean Alger as Hasaranga comes in again and he just turns it wide of short legs, right leg, and end of the over. They just get 1 from that one. 1-5-3 for 1.
And Leah says, yes, blind Joe Wilson. What an Ashes he's had last year.
My mind
is
blank for umpires. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, it's always difficult to remember umpires.
So, but we've got 5, right? We've got Brian Jerling,
6.
Cyril Midgley, Barry Lamson, Rudy Kurtzen, Murray Russell, and Adrian Holdstock. So we just need the other 4.
6 of, yeah.
Okay.
So one of them stood in 9 tests between 2001 and 2007. One of them stood in 44 tests between 95 and 2004. One of them did 1 test in 92, so there's the challenge. And one of them did 9 tests from 92 to 95.
Okay. The interesting part about this is that, do you think that we'll see Aladin Palaka standing in at the Wanderers, since he's the 3rd umpire, and we might see a little bit of a rotation with probably Adrian Holdstock going into doing the 3rd umpire duties?
Bongani Jele. Round the wicket is a change of bowling, as it looks like Kusal Pereira is the man who's come on there. They take a quick single, and they get through without much fuss. It's Lahiru Kumar. Rob, my apologies.
Yes, South Africa just needing to just consolidate after that wicket and just press on the advantage. It's been quite easy batting at Centurion, which has been surprising. And also disappointing for but it creates a little bit of a contest for everyone, because obviously now runs are the key to the day. And South Africa need to bat to probably even late afternoon tomorrow.
Yeah, probably about a day and a half as Kumara comes in again. That one nips away off the track, but a great stop there in the end from Nirshan de Guerilla.
There doesn't seem to be too much interaction. I can put you out of your misery if you like with other umpires.
Okay, sure.
We have Brian Jerling, who did 4 tests in 2006. We have Ian Howell. Oh, we did
Ian Howell.
Ian Howell. We have Dave Orchard, who did 44 tests from 95 to 2004.
A name that rings a bell. Kumara in again, and this one is fended away by Van der Dussen run.
We have Wolf Diedrichs, who did the 1 test in 92.
Wouldn't have guessed it.
And then Carl Liebenberg, who did 9 tests from 92 to 95.
Good.
Ian Howell.
I know.
Ian Howell, that's a good umpire there.
But it's a great thing umpires aren't celebrities, because they always say that if you become the center of attention, then you're doing the job all wrong. Or from a refereeing and a perspective, or even an umpiring perspective.
Absolutely. Halfway through Kumara's 6th, and this one is a foolish delivery. Ends up being a bit of a Yorker, and well dealt with there by Van der Dussen.
The closest thing cricket's had to a celebrity umpire is probably Billy Bowden.
Yes.
And I don't think he was doing too much wrong, but some antics had made him slightly more famous.
Dave's been coming in and out. There, I don't think he's missed a ball much. That last one from Kumara was fended off to the leg side for no run. He's collected 3 dots in this over, and we're just waiting for one more ball.
What do you think the plan is here for the South Africans as they head towards tea? There's not a lot of time left, about 20 minutes. What's the plan here?
I think the
this
plan
one is awkwardly driven by Van der Dussen, no run. End of that over. Plan, James, plan.
154 for 1. The South Africans are at the end of that over. I think the plan is to just get to tea because they're already scoring at a very high run rate. The session has gone for you've been scoring at 4.7 runs and over. So you have that in your back pocket that you can score quickly. Just don't lose wickets in a clump and prevent that from happening. I think that's the first thing that these two will want to prevent.
Chris, from a Sri Lankan perspective, steal a wicket here just before the break?
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. Because, there hasn't been a lot of threatening bowling bar the recent market wicket and a couple of chances right at the beginning. I don't know what they have to do to sort of force the false shots or create chances at the moment. It doesn't look that easy to bowl.
Hasaranga into Markram, who whips this away, and a great bit of fielding there at a shortish mid-wicket means he doesn't get anything for it. Dimuth Karunaratne, the man. Hasaranga in once again, and a little bit more floated this time. He tries to push it, and he finds Karunaratne again. No runs. So he's obviously hitting his lengths and lines is Hasaranga to force Alga to play in a certain zone. 154 for 1. This one is defended on the bounce to the man under the helmet. Trailing 242.
The South Africans have done well in the face of that close to 400. I think yesterday we were talking about how 400 is, as we're looking at that.
I'll go with a short ball, and he's punished it down the. Well, it was a short one there, almost a long hop, and he smashed it towards the deep square leg boundary. And I don't know, 4, it looked a hang of a lot like a 4. Lasith Mbaldenia, the man on the field for Vishwa Fernando.
Okay, I think it's a valiant attempt, and I think right now we're going to have to go to Aludin Palaka to give us a confirming of whether it's a 4.
That looks like a 4. My man is hanging on to that boundary.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Look, there's There's his feet touching
But he's also
it,
not
and then
hanging
again,
onto the ball.
again. That's a difficult
Yeah, I think
one.
it's a fall. But we're still looking. So
I'm not sure. I don't think he's touching the ball when his feet touch the rope. I think
Watch his
he's
right
let the ball
knee
go.
his right knee as he rolls over. His foot is touching the rope, but is he touching the ball there with that right knee of his before he flicks it back?
ooh, that's a little bit
Yeah,
tight.
you need another angle.
Well, there's
No,
a camera
yeah,
right
look.
there, and we're just looking at the broad angle initially.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to zoom in and figure out.
Okay, money down, gents. 4-0.
It's not a fall.
I'm gonna go no.
Okay, so my colleagues are not South Africans. They're just no, I joke.
Thankfully, it's not real money on the line.
True. Don't forget to tweet us, Guerilla SA, GUERILLASA. If you want to sponsor us, if you want to see your brand on our product, we are very excited. Send an email to mpo@1wsr.com, and we will be more than happy to discuss some opportunities with you. Chris, you're on holiday at the moment. When do you go back? March, is it, with varsity students?
Oh, I'm a graduate. Got my results a couple of days ago. So
Congratulations, Chris.
yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, so back to Joburg to try find a job in the real world.
Yes. Come to the dark side. We have jobs.
It's a trap, Chris. It's a trap. Stay.
Yeah.
Stay.
I can't handle another year of study. Maybe, yeah. Not at the moment, anyway. I'm done with that in the meantime.
Saranga can finally ball his next delivery. That is in and flicked away by Dean Algo. Finds Lasith Embaldenia once again, just for a single.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that ends that over. Is that the end of the over, Chris?
I've got
one more.
But I can...
Oh, Dave's got one more to go. Okay.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Fanadison facing up to Hasaranga, slip, and man on the helmet defended. No run. End of that one, 159 for one. Fanadison, 3 from 18. His partner, Elga, 74 from 96.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts, but for now I'm synced up with Dave and his commentary. It's the same as what I'm seeing on my screen.
Okay, that's good. That's what we want to go through. But we've got 15 minutes to go until tea. So at tea, all our radio listeners will be treated to a 10-12-minute podcast with Simon Gear and Colin Bryden talking about the legend that is Robin Jackman, who passed away on Christmas. So that's why the South Africans are wearing the black armbands. So we're going to tee that up on our 1wsr.com. And then I think for all our Facebook and YouTube followers, we'll be posting the next thing. So stay tuned to the One World Sports Radio YouTube and Facebook for the next live session for the afternoon session that's going to be coming up there.
Wonderful. As we see Lahiru Kumara coming in to Dinalgo, who just defends on the back foot, no run. 34 overs gone, 159 for one. South Africa feeling a lot more comfortable than they did yesterday. I think Sri Lanka put on a heap of runs in a single day, nearly 400. That is absolutely incredible.
Where would you say the game is balanced? Who is the game leaning towards a team?
I think it's balanced. I think it's balanced.
I'd say, if anywhere, maybe slightly leaning towards South Africa.
Kumara with that next one, and that's just pushed to Dimuth Karunaratne. No run there. Chris, you say towards South Africa?
Yeah, I'm also going to go check what Crickviz has to say.
oh, good. The beloved Crickviz win. Virat Kohli.
Never wrong. Crickviz has South Africa at 69%. It sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Okay. Right. Kumara in once again. He's got 2 slips and a gully waiting. He comes round the wicket to Alga, who carves this away. down to the deep point region. There's obviously a plan here with the point hanging out on the boundary there. They want to perhaps bowl something a little bit shorter to the left-handed opener and pick up a false shot maybe. But change of strike now.
Yeah, the South African dressing room very calm. Faf already padded up, not wanting to probably come in. Did you guys see Faf and his war against t-shirts?
Yeah,
I see
over
that
and over
he's
again,
anti-t-shirt these days. This one is worked off the hips of Van der Dussen as he gets through comfortably for a single. I don't know why we're getting endless shirtless photos of Faf du Plessis on the Cricket South Africa Instagram feed. Like, I don't need that in my life. I know it may be trying to attract female viewers.
It's aspirational for the rest of us.
Thirst traps is what I'm seeing. Thirst traps. Next thing we're going to see an OnlyFans account for the Proteas. This is just a slippery slope.
Next thing will be the only problem was that put Aiden Markram behind Faf du Plessis with his shirt on, getting questions of why is your shirt on, and Faf getting ready to run time trial.
Kumara in, and this time he comes over to Diego, who just leaps into the air and dots that away off his pads. They get through for one. One ball remaining in the serve. 145 clicks, which is a lot quicker than we've known from the Sri Lankans in this game so far.
I remember though when Kumara first came on the scene, he really did look like a fast bowler, like he was going to be the next generation of Sri Lankan bowling. But the sort of rugby players bowling 140 is very young. He's still young now. He made his debut a few years ago.
One ball remaining in Kumara's 7th and the 35th as a whole. South Africa 162 for 1. He comes in again, right arm over, past the umpire and ducks under. It does Van der Dussen. End of that over. Elga's faced 70. He's faced 100 rather. He's got 76 for it. Nice strike rate there for us to work out. And Van der Dussen is 4 from 20. His is equally as nice for us to work out. This is the first test.
Tweets for you. I have some tweets here. Otto replying to AB's tweet about him being off comms and Aiden getting out. Otto was saying, it might have been my fault. I went to the shops quickly. Otto, what did you buy? And will we be seeing a Braille later on? And then Otto Otto replying saying, the bowling by to Knuckles question about the pitch at Centurion. Says the bowling of the Protea Fire has not been consistent or accurate enough, and Sri Lanka cashed in by punishing bad balls. Thankfully for us, Sri Lanka emulated that performance with the ball.
Quite right.
Chris, what is something that you've noticed that's creeped up in 2020? I know you're a stats man at heart. What is like a 2020 anomaly that we've seen in the world of cricket?
I don't know, because I mean we haven't seen a huge amount of international T20 recently. It's all been with the IPL.
Or maybe just in all formats.
So, yeah, maybe maybe not so recent, but the introduction of pitch hitters opening positions, sort of thing that we've seen with Sunil Narayan, which seems to work quite effectively. Just more and more spinners entering each of the attacks.
In again now with a bit of a change, Shanaka replacing Hasaranga. This is whipped away off the pads there, and Embaldenia does the collection. Vishwa Fernandez has gone off. Obviously, he's struggling with heat or maybe a strain of some kind.
Yeah, it is quite hot out there at Centurion, which is giving us a little bit of an inkling that there might be some showers later on. The question is, obviously, when will that happen? Because normally when it gets that hot, you can feel that it's building up with a lot of clouds coming from the south, especially with Hyde Park having some rain as well. And then Dave looks
I'm just looking out the window here. It looks like there's no rain for me forecast. But looking at the clouds there at Supersport Park, if you look at almost a side-on shot, looks like there's something building up. Is Shanaka's in again, and this is way, way, way too wide to lure Van der Dussen into a rash shot of any kind.
So Otto's given us his what he was sent to do at the shops. We'll do that once this over is done.
So 5 balls remaining in this. So Van der Dussen on strike. He's got 4 from 21. Centurion is currently 29 degrees with only a 5% chance of rain. So it doesn't say that there's going to be rain, but the 5% is better than nothing. 2 slips waiting now, and this is another wide one, and Van der Dussen leaves it alone. No run.
Just going to be raining runs.
I hope so.
Yeah. So Otto says he bought 2 liters of Coke, 2 liters of full cream milk, and 4 packets of Stuyvesant Silver. Today we'll have bacon pasta, which is Carla's famous recipe. Some other odds and ends left over from the weekend. Nothing on the bride today.
Shanaka in again, and this one is swinging into the pads of Rassie van der Dussen, and he works that away to the fine leg boundary. 4 runs, sir.
Yeah, so that was just too straight from Shanaka, just giving Rassie that nice little half volley down there, just to help for him to just put that bat and let it go fine down the leg side.
I think the plan was rather that he would go away twice, and then the one that comes back in would hopefully trap Van der Dussen on his pads. But he's straight too far down the leg side.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I want your thoughts on. You mentioned Sri Lanka, not Sri Lanka, rather spinners coming into the tackle or featuring more prominently. I'd love to hear your thoughts at the end of this over as to why that is. Another wide one outside the off stump. We're talking 8th, 9th stump line there from Shanaka. No real trouble for Van der Dussen, no run.
Yeah, he's just been too wide today, Shanaka. He just needs to force the batsman to play, especially with his pace. You just can't be bowling it too wide and make it easy for the batsman.
Vishwa Fernanda back on the track, which means Lasith Embaldinho will go back to sitting in the shed and carrying the drinks. Alga not getting much strike in this over, but there's not really much for Van der Dussen to play at. He leaves that one. That's a little bit better, 5th or 6th rather. And that is 1 remaining in this over. Oh, that is rather the end of the over. South Africa 167 for 1. Chris.
Yeah, I'm not really involved in that side of the game a huge amount, but I think it comes down mostly to not being predictable. So more than just spinners, it's a lot of the variation spinners. You can roll 6 different deliveries so that the batsman can't really prepare, premeditate, and just line them up. I think that's the big thing in T20s. You also see a lot more variation from the fast bowlers recently.
Are we heading too close to a fruit salad only approach when it comes to cricket? Are we just going to throw everything?
Not really. You must always bowl to a plan.
Kumara in again, and it's short and straight here as Alga just defends, no run.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it. It offers something different to the longer game, where in a test a good over can be 6 of the same delivery. It's nice to see a bit of variation and the spinners to get more involved, to really distinguish the games from one another from a bowler's point of view.
Look, I think in all formats, you just obviously need to have a plan. And if sometimes the plan is to, obviously in the shorter format, obviously you're going to have to. Yes, Dave?
Kumara in again, and that one's just gone under the bat of.
Wow. That just doesn't look good for anybody coming into bat. It just keeps like there's certain parts of this pitch where if you just hit it, the ball will do something that you're not expecting, and it's gone. It's still outside the off stump, but there is a crack that Sean Pollock was talking about earlier on when he was doing the pitch report this morning, and so it could open up and move across into that off stump line, and that could be a problem for any left-handers that may be coming in
with a short delivery, and it has absolutely been smoked to the boundary by Diego Alga. Wonderful pull shot there nobody tell Faf du Plessis about the ball going under the bat, because if we all remember the Sri Lanka series last year, that's how he got out time and again.
I'll do my best not to remember that series. Thank you very much.
Block out the trauma. What a shot.
Oh. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff there from the South African left-hander. He's in again now is Kumara, and that one's gone over de Guerrilla's head. And more runs for the South Africans. That's 3 times now that they've been gifted that type of runs. I know it's boxing. Well, it's the Boxing Day test, but this is the second day of Christmas. My true love gave to me 5 buys.
Yes, Anuf Nokia is probably going to be happy that he's not the only bowler to bowl those five wides over the keeper's head. It seems as though, as I was saying, you see the bounce from Elgar's the ball before, where we went underneath Elgar's bat, and then the next one you getting that trampoline bounce that goes over the keeper's head. So it's just it's a lot of things that the batsmen need to work out of their mind and kind of play true. It's hard for you to obviously play with the true bounce because of what's going on, but you also need to just move it out and just say that if it comes, it comes. If it affects me, it affects me. We saw some Sri Lankans get out to rising balls hitting their gloves. So I think those are the type of things that you need to consider coming into bat and try to take that the mind out and play what necessarily is in front of you.
That last one just defended by Dean Elgar as he gets through for 1. So this over 0-0 for buys, 1 remaining in this over. Lahira Kumar 38 from his 7.5. Not the most frugal test match for any fast bowler at the moment. I mean, Lutus Apamla did really well to come back, as did Vian Mulder, but it's runs are easy to come by. It's not like watching Pakistan, New Zealand.
Yes, 4.88 runs in the session per over, which is very fast from a test match perspective.
Last one left alone there, end of the over.
I think my phone's done well to last this long. It's on 1%. So if I do suddenly just disappear, know that it's not no one's done anything to offend me. That's just the phone.
Chris, that's okay. We've gotten to the final over of lunch. So I think
tea.
Tea. The final over before tea of the lunch session.
Yes. Paul, what do you think is the biggest change that's going to come out of COVID?
The fact that umpires will not touch any player's sweaty clothes again.
That one is a leg stump half volley flicked away, and a valiant attempt there at the fine leg boundary, but that is a 4 to start this over. South Africa not missing out on gets like that.
Some poor fielding there on the boundary. Really disappointing from Kumara.
It really was. I mean, the ball was less than ordinary, but he's kind of gotten there, done all the hard work, and then given it a rubber fish to try and stop that one. Not going to miss out is Dean Elgar.
Yes, Elgar on 86, just looking very good today.
He has looked good, and I think that's key for the South Africans, that one of the openers gets 100. I think getting towards that 396 and beyond, there's going to have to be more than just 100. I think like I said when Van der Dussen came out to bat, he's got to bat long here and get some big runs. This one by Elgar is driven to mid-on, who manages to get in the way of it, no run.
It's 26 away from the 4,000 run mark in Test cricket.
Absolutely. This session has gone 5 runs to the over, and it was 4.5 in the previous. And like you said, Mpho, really quick stuff for a Test match.
It is, and it is also a question of whether the bowlers are rusty. They're not used to bowling those consistent Test match lines and lengths. I do think had they played at least a little bit more Test cricket over the period. If there wasn't any COVID, we wouldn't be seeing these high run rates.
Gremlins, yeah, it's small gremlins, and I think Ravi Nair was asking, what do strike rates matter in Test cricket? But I think when we see this kind of scoring that we have, it shows how much that plays an impact. This previous one was wide and left alone. The next one comes back into Dean Algar and emulates his inner role Dravid and just defends without much fuss. Dean Algar's Test career, 111 innings. This is his Nelsonth inning, if you will. And like you said, he's not far away from that 4,000 run mark. Close to the 40 as well, when the average is.
Yeah.
Algar facing up now, and he defends this one, no run.
Yes, we're
2 balls left in this.
Just before
nearly to the 4,000 mark.
Yes, I'm just going to just remove myself off the stream while you guys sort out. I'll just come back quickly. Just need to sort out the T listening for our radio listeners on 1WSR.com.
Not a problem. Thank you so much, Mpho. Shanaka here has 2 balls left in this over. He comes right arm around the wicket to Algar, who just leaves it alone. Chris, are you still with me?
I am. I was just looking at the most runs for South African Test. Algar currently sitting 9th overall on that list. Still a good 500 odd behind Darryl Cullinan, but that's pretty high up, and he's still got a couple of years left, one would imagine.
Absolutely, 111th inning, but the value of his innings are far more than those of the number of innings he's played are far more valuable. But that brings us to T, the last ball being left alone outside the off stump. South Africa 180 for 1, and just an interesting session. Chris, what did you make of it?
Yeah, overly positive. It's been a good day so far, wrapping up maybe barring the first half hour or so, but wrapping up the tail and then just good, confident batting. Unfortunate to see Markram go, but overall, it's good to see that we can still play some cricket.
And really just a rash shot that got the wicket of Aiden Markram. He just kind of threw hands at it and didn't quite get what he wanted to. But nevertheless, South Africa trailing 216. And myself, Ozmaster, and AB will be on after a cup of tea.
Yes, thank you very much, Dave and Chris, for your efforts. Really do appreciate it. You may take your leave now as we go to tea on our radio platform, which is 1WSR.com. Please do go there and listen to the obituary that Colin Bryden and Simon Gear do on Robin Jackman, who passed away in December. We'll be back on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on 1WSR.com for the post-tea session in 20 minutes at 3 p.m.